There are moments when the weight you're carrying feels heavier than you expected, not because you aren't capable, not because you haven't tried hard enough, but because you've been holding too much for too long. This is for the moments when life feels overwhelming, when responsibility presses in from every direction, and you quietly wonder how much longer you can keep doing this. God is not asking you to carry this alone, even if you've been doing so for a while, even if it feels like there's no one else to help, even if you've learned how to survive by being the strong one. There is a verse in Matthew 11 where Jesus says, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Notice what he doesn't say. He doesn't say, "Try harder, figure it out, or be stronger." He says, "Come to me," which means the weight was never meant to stay on you. Many women carry things they were never meant to hold alone. The emotional needs of others, the expectations placed on them, the fear of what might fall apart if they stop. Sometimes, you don't even realize how heavy it's gotten until your body starts to feel tired, your emotions feel thin, or your spirit feels worn down. That doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human, and God remembers that. There is another verse in Psalm 55 that says, "Cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you." Cast, not manage, not juggle, not carry quietly. Cast, which means there is permission to let go. If you've been carrying anxiety that won't settle, grief that hasn't had space, responsibility that feels nonstop, or expectations that feel impossible, God is not standing back, waiting for you to handle it better. He is inviting you to bring it closer. Sometimes we carry things alone because we think it's our responsibility, because we're afraid of disappointing others, because we don't want to be a burden, because we've learned that being strong keeps things stable. But strength does not mean isolation, and faith does not mean self-reliance. God never asked you to be the source of your own strength. He asked you to lean on him when you're weary. If you feel like you've been holding everything together by yourself, please hear this gently. You were not created to do life alone. You were not designed to absorb endless pressure. You were not meant to carry what belongs to God. Sometimes the hardest part is not the weight itself, but the fear of letting it go. The fear that if you stop carrying it, something will collapse. But God is not asking you to drop everything all at once. He is asking you to stop carrying it by yourself. Even bringing a small part of it to him matters. Even whispering, "I can't do this alone anymore," is an act of trust. God does not require polished prayers. He meets honesty with presence. If today feels heavy, you don't need to solve it. You don't need to figure out the next 10 steps. You don't need to prove you can handle this. You are allowed to admit that you're tired. That admission does not push God away. It draws him closer. There are seasons when carrying things alone feels like survival, but survival is not the same as support. And God offers more than survival. He offers rest. Rest doesn't always mean everything stops. Sometimes rest means the weight is shared. Sometimes rest means you don't have to keep pretending you're okay. Sometimes rest means allowing yourself to be held. If you've been feeling overwhelmed, emotionally stretched, or quietly breaking under pressure, God sees that. He is not minimizing it. He is not ignoring it. And he is not asking you to carry it alone. Right now, take a slow breath. You don't need to have the right words. You don't need to know what comes next. You are allowed to pause here. God is holding what you can't. He is sustaining you in ways you may not even see yet. And even if the weight doesn't disappear immediately, you are not carrying it by yourself anymore. If this space felt like permission to stop holding everything together, you are welcome to return. For now, let this truth stay with you. God is not asking you to carry this alone. You were never meant to, and you are held, even here.